Saying what I'm going to say.
Nice one.
That we could have 6 different winners in Class B in 6 races. This year, Sylvester goes wide, he's up the curb.
Needs rebalancing, I think. Yeah.
Dan Sylvester's getting a 60-second penalty.
I've got no VTEC.
Unfortunately, there is a little bit of drama.
In this video we're going to be returning to Donington Park to see if we can achieve redemption in the 750 Motor Club Road Sports Series. This is the race that I entered last year and almost won until I ran out of brakes and fuel, but we've made a few changes to the car to hopefully not have those problems today. This is also the first video I'm making since improving my voiceover setup, so let me know how it sounds. Oh yeah, I'm a little bit ill, that's why my voice sounds like it's got more dirt in it than usual, but the video's really good, honest. Also, I will be relaunching my merch store soon after 2 years out of the game. I don't think I will make the Friday, the special Friday that we celebrate now for some reason. I don't think I'll make that, but maybe soon, hopefully. Disclaimer, no rev limiters were harmed in the making of this video.
Now then, welcome to Donington Park. We are racing the Civic once again. We're having another go at that Road Sports. This is the race last year where I ran out of brakes and fuel quite spectacularly. Still finished the race though. What a video that was. Can we have redemption today? I've got better brakes and I've got a surge tank. So hopefully the fuel will make it. 45 litre tank, uses about a litre a minute. It's a 45-minute race. You do the maths. Simple one for you there, yeah. Anyway, qualifying in a moment. So I'm just doing a quick intro. So I'm in the Civic. Josh is here. He's just walking by in a minute. He's racing an E92 M3 today. And in the garage next door, we've got Darkside, both their TTs, Ryan and Scott. It's their birthday today. It's Ryan's birthday. They're twins. Ryan's birthday today. Josh in the BMW today. Morning. Quite a few rivals for me today, including this supercharged EP3 in my class. There's also a Ginetta, a certain Ginetta that you might remember. That's in my class today. It's going to be tough, right? Hopefully the car just works. To be honest, I just want to finish the race. Obviously, I would love to fucking do very well. But let's just try and finish the race. But we're just going to have qualifying now, so as you can see, it's a bit of a damp Donington. That's someone's tea. I don't think that's not come from the sky. God's not poured his brew out, has he? But yeah, look, Ryan's there. Look, now you can see him. Hello. But yeah, anyway, qualifying. Let's go. I need to get my kiss on. Bio tries.
So I actually got to qualifying a little bit later than most of the other cars. The scheduled start time was 9:55. As you can see on my Garmin there, the time is currently 9:52. The session's already started. Oh dear. I've never actually been this late to qualifying before, and this means that the engine isn't quite warmed up where it needs to be, and also I'm not ready to go, so I can't join the circuit with the other cars. The marshals are about to tell me that if I want to join this qualifying session, I must now do it from the pit lane.
Qualifying early. Pardon? Okay.
I've never been that late before that they won't let me out the gate, but hey ho. It does say in the regulations or whatever that sessions can start early, but I mean, wasn't expecting it to be that early. Balls. Anyway, obviously we only want to have a couple of steady laps anyway. We've got new setup to test. The car has not been aligned since, believe it or not, I've not aligned this car since October last year, since a full year ago. So that's fun, isn't it?
Unfortunately, the opening lap of qualifying started with a problem. The car felt a little bit sluggish, and then pulling out onto the back straight, I noticed something wasn't working. That's quite critical to an engine like this.
I've got no VTEC. Car's too cold. I hope. It's not just fuel, is it? Car's very slow. There's nothing on the temperature gauge yet, it's still flat. Well, the car is so slow. Oh, there we go, it's coming on now. I think it's just too cold. Hopefully it's just too cold, because we can fix that. We can't fix fuel.
If you didn't see my video prior to this, the one where we're preparing the car for this event, I did some changes, including some bigger front brakes and also an anti-surge tank, an auxiliary fuel pump to try and allow the car to run a little bit lower on fuel. So now I'm trying to figure out whether or not the performance issues that I'm getting now at the start of qualifying are simply because the car's too cold, or is it not getting enough fuel? Is the fuel setup not working?
It's a cold day, it's October, it's raining. I normally have more time in the assembly area with the car idling, getting it warm. I've got a safety car, I'm going to try and keep the revs up just to... Yeah, that feels about right. Fucks, ooh, that was scary. Okay, this is good, we can bed the brakes in a bit. Oh no, the MGZR's gone out! Not the MGZR! Oh, I'm in the right middle of the track. Alright, well this is good for our brakes anyway, brand new pads, brand new discs. I could really do with a digital temperature gauge. We're not allowed to have phones in our cars, right? Otherwise I'd just have the fucking app on my phone and I'd be able to see everything, wouldn't I? So that'd be real nice. So what I'm going to do while I've got the safety car is I'm just going to load the brakes up a little bit and then we'll try and do a lap without braking. We've done that before, just about. Just to load up the engine as well, get some more heat. It's raining more now though. Oh, you might recognise the MR2. Turn the defroster off as well, I don't think it especially needs it. Brake pedal feels super good. I don't know what it'll feel like after a few laps, but we'll see. Oh, I got a whiff of fuel then. Alright, let's try and have a lap now with no... I'll try and not press the brake.
So the circuit's gone green again, the safety car has returned to the pit area, but we're all bunched up and I'm in a big line of cars right in the middle. What can we do to try and get a little bit of breathing area so we can try and get this fast time in? We've still not got a good time on the board. I had an idea.
I'm just going to go in the pits and let everyone go past and then come out of the pits. Just going to do a lap of the pits basically.
I am very, very sneaky, sir. I see that.
Oh, masterful gambit, sir.
Activities! Step past. It's making my head spin on the activities.
Sketchy. Got 2 series in my class. How is it? Is that class B? How? Look at that!
Yeah, the car in front is a BMW 240i. I know they did some of these racing abroad. I'm not sure if it's a road car that's been adapted or if it's a production race car or what, but pretty cool choice for Class B. I don't know if it's been detuned for that or not, but yeah, this could be quite the rival for us today, so let's see how it goes.
Well, maybe the next lap then. Come on.
So I'm starting to get a little bit worried now. As you can see on the bottom right, my best time so far is a 2:04. Ideally, we want to be a good bit faster than that. Obviously, we've not really had a clean lap yet. My best time last year in the dry was a 1:44.9. So, yeah, I mean, the track's really greasy. It's tricky conditions. Slipping and sliding quite a lot. Still on last year's tyres with last year's alignment, remember. So, yeah, the handling isn't quite there, but we really need to concentrate now and try and string a lap together. I've got a good bit of clean air in front of me. Donington Park flows really nice, especially the national circuit. Unfortunately, we're on the GP, but keep an eye on the track map at the top right. Try and take note of how I'm trying to maximise my speed, keep the flow going, but also not be too attracted to the apexes because the track is very slippery and we don't want to get caught up trying to take dry lines. Also, top tip, when it's greasy like this, watch how I'm going to leave a car's width of the racing line in the braking zone. This should allow us to brake with more confidence. Big improvement there, nearly 7 seconds quicker than the previous best. There's 43 cars entered today, 43 cars qualifying. The previous time would have put us around mid-table. That lap there, the 1:57.49, just put me 11th overall.
Thank you, Sean.
So I'm going to carry on pushing, but there's a bit of drama at the start of this lap. See if you can see what's happening through the windscreen. Yeah, it seems like that 240 that was squiddling around a little bit caught the demise of Craners in the wet. It's very sketchy. The car feels super light. It's hard to get it across on video at the best of times how sketchy this track can be. But there is a good example of it for you. Sorry that the 240 had to pay the price. I carried on pushing on this lap. As you can see, I wasn't that too far away. I made some gains in quite a lot of areas. I was getting a lot more confident now. Caught up to this TT towards the end though, and I figured I'm going to back off a little bit, let him run on, and then we'll go for one more fast lap at the end.
On that one slightly, but I don't think I'd have made it around the corner, around the last corner with enough pace. So anyway, the car works, so that's good. I was very concerned at the start of that session because the car was super slow, but it's just because VTEC wasn't engaging because the car was too cold. So yeah, a bit of a rush in the paddock. I do get a whiff of fuel. So I'm going to check everything that I've done. We've got about 3 hours until the race starts. So that's plenty of time. Even if I want to take the tank off and everything, that's still plenty of time.
So the results are I remained 11th overall, first in class. From 11th until 16th place were all Class B cars, very tight at the top. So it turns out that 2 Series was a 235i looking at this. So in first place is myself, then we've got an EP3, and we've got a BMW Z4, nice, Clio 200, another Civic, and then a BMW 235i. What's interesting about the qualifying is all 6 of those cars are separated by less than a second, so that's pretty cool. Tight at the top. But yes, it seems the Civic is functional, the fuel system and the brakes all felt fine. Obviously we're in the wet, so we're not really, we're not giving the car 100% def just yet. There was a little bit of a whiff of fuel though, so we've got a few things to investigate between now and the race. Now a good way to see whether or not you've performed well after a race is usually whether or not you get pulled to the side to get put on the weighbridge. So let's find out.
If we get pulled to the side here, that means we've done well. Oh, hey! Yes. That means we've done well, chaps.
Oh, it's very noisy in here, so luckily I've got this sweet voiceover rig where I can tell you everything you need to know. So I'm just talking about qualifying here. I'm saying, yeah, I had a nice qualifying.
Let me tell you, the top 5 in my class is split from a second, but I am at the front of it. Yes, I am. It does look like the rain is done now, so hopefully the track dries up. We'll see. But I could get a whiff of fuel, just a little whiff of fuel. I've had a look, and there is fuel at the bottom of the tank, right, of the box. So it looks like it might just be these fittings here, hopefully. We'll give them a nip up and see. Other than that, great success.
It seemed to me that everything was tight, but clearly something wasn't happy, and what I decided to do was remake one of the fuel lines because it was slightly too long and it seemed to just be putting a little bit of stress on the AN fitting, where I thought if I remake that, maybe it'll be, a bit better.
Yeah, I'm not saying what I'm going to say.
What are you saying?
No.
Can you video this action? What are these for? Whose are them? Not mine.
Safety first, wear shoes in the house.
I bet that's going to be too short now. Isn't it? Where does it stop? Oh no, is it about there?
Have you got some spare hose and all?
I brought all hose with me and everything, yeah.
Measure launch cup twice, is that what we're doing?
Well, we took a little sliver off it. It's going to be too much.
You took 2 slithers off it.
A few moments later.
I've now made this line wrong 3 times in a row. Too short, too short, too short. I'm doing something wrong, so I got the expert.
Fucking hell, my nose in there's Burton.
Very. That's a special tool. Yeah, some fucking smile like that. Alright.
Nice one.
Thanks, Josh.
No problem.
Hopefully that'll be sound now. We're racing very shortly. Car's hopefully good to go. I've not been able to check too much. Obviously we had a problem with fuel leaking. Hopefully that's now resolved. Car felt alright otherwise. The wheel were vibrating a little bit, but it might just be anything, I don't know. We'll keep driving until one of them falls off, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, let's go. So remember we're starting P1. We've got 10 Class A cars in front of us. And the conditions are, well, it's meant to not rain now.
Changeable.
Yeah, it's meant to not rain now, so I might just drop a PSI out of each tyre. So somewhere between wet and, I mean I was already somewhere between wet and dry, but I'll figure it out. I'll see you in the car.
Right, we're just gridding up for the race now. Unfortunately my onboard voice recorder didn't work for the race. Decided to go for a dry setup on the car. I normally only change tyre pressures anyway, I don't get that in depth, but yeah, the track is wet now. We're hoping it's going to dry out. It's pretty greasy, but it's not raining.
Row 6 will be number 37, Dan Sylvester, and 83 will be Chris Nyland.
If you haven't seen a road sports race before, it is a rolling start. We're about to start a green flag lap behind the safety car. So what should happen is the safety car should turn its lights off, pull in, and then we'll wait for the red lights to go out for our race start. But we'll be rolling at about 40 miles per hour or so. That isn't what happens this time because unfortunately one of our competitors has a slight issue.
Sonny's trying to come out here at Donington Park for the first road sports race in nearly 2 months. Silverstone on the international circuit in August was the last time out, and this the 6th and concluding race of the season.
Something's gone very wrong for the MGZR of 104 Mark Purcell. It looks like it's been off, and now it's cooked the engine.
Yeah, and it's reversing, fortunately, behind the barrier, but there's telltale grass on the circuit like it's been off into the barriers.
Well, Alan, if you want to Rover 200, you're going to have to sack everyone at Pear Tree Productions.
Fine.
Red lights are on
The
gantry, but the safety car is still out because of that incident that has happened. So we are going to have another lap behind the safety car. The clock has started to count down. So the 45-minute race is underway. The clock has started to count down. So the 45-minute race is underway, but the car's still behind the safety car because of that incident from Mark Purcell.
Now the race start actually gets delayed here, and I didn't really have an idea about what was going on. I'm not that experienced in this kind of racing. It turns out the race timer has already started and I wasn't aware of it, and yeah, that'll show up a little bit later in the race as you'll see. But yeah, we ended up having 2 laps behind the safety car before starting the race. Interestingly, the race start was still done as normal with a red light going out, but the race had already technically started. Yeah, if that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry, it didn't to me either.
So as you say, the race has begun officially, although we are still under controlled conditions. A great mix of cars this is, isn't it, as they come up to the top of the hill there. You've got TCR specification cars, you've got the BMW Compact on the front row of the grid, that car that Martin Gadsby has developed. Ian Jones driving it today, very rapid indeed.
So it should be a side-by-side rolling start. Red lights are on and they go out. Away we go then for 41.5 minutes of racing.
2 of which has been started by Matthew Hampson. He's got Ryan Parkin on the outside. The Class B leading Honda has come through really well. Was that Will Puttergill that started? No, it was Chris Nyland who started. Big slide there from Darren Bull as he was braking between Schwarzkopf and McLean. But yeah, that Honda leading Class B, making great progress on this opening lap by Chris Nyland. But Dan Sylvester's Honda having his first outing in Road Sports this year. Go with him.
So once again, despite my class being filled with various BMWs, a Renault Clio, Ginettas, Audi TTs, Porsche Boxster S, once again, our main rival at the top, our competitor, is another EP3, something Honda Civic. This car was clearly very well driven. I was having a hard time trying to keep up with him. The lap times from us both at the start were pretty similar. We're in a bit of a weird sandwich now, me and this other Civic. We've got a faster car in front in the BMW M2, and then we've got the Leon TCR car behind me. So these cars, the bread of the sandwich of the Honda Civic double, they're very fast in the straight lines, but they're causing us some problems in the corners, and they're making us vulnerable to each other, which you probably noticed with some of the previous overtakes. So all I'm trying to do now is trying to keep up with them as best as I can. Hopefully there's a moment where I can pass, but the worst thing that could happen now would be if the Civic could overtake the M2.
Back into the lead of Class B has gone the Chris Nyland and Will Puttergill on Civic Type R ahead of the Dan Sylvester car. Which is just into shot now. There is, you can see Sylvester's car, the older Honda, ex-Chris McCloy car from Hot Hatch. There is the Class B leader going through, the number 83 car, but not desperately far ahead of Chris Nolan, but trying to make up a place on the car from the class ahead, which is the 69 car. But that in a straight line doesn't really work, does it? Because Matthew Hampson on a straight line able to pull away a little bit from the Honda.
Notice there were some dry patches appearing on the circuit as they came past us, so that if the conditions stay like this, should continue throughout this race. So perhaps the lap times will continue to come down. So there's Hampson in that M2. A car that was built by BMW Motorsport, raced in Italy over the last couple of years, but it's been shipped to the UK by Matthew Hampson and Andy Schultz.
Spinner in the background.
It's Claire Norman, I think, in the Cupra, isn't it, out of 12? And there she is.
That's unfortunate because that's into the gravel at McLean. So the marshals, as you can see, fantastic work as if from the marshals heading down there to try and see if they can get that car moved without the intervention of a snatch vehicle or recovery vehicle.
Pit stop window's just opened. You might notice the addition of a timer on my steering wheel, a little egg timer. That currently says 11 minutes, nearly 12 minutes. So according to me, we're nearly 12 minutes into the race. But in reality, we're actually 15 minutes past in the race. So I'm about 3 minutes behind on my timer due to that second green flag lap. Now you can probably guess what's going to happen. I need to take a mandatory pit stop, and it has to be between 15 and 30 minutes of this 45-minute race. A 15-minute window bang in the middle. As with most types of this racing, if we pit whilst there's a safety car, that will be most beneficial. It'll be the cheapest pit stop, just like F1. So what I'm going to try and do, and the reason why I've got this timer, is I want to pit as lately as possible within that window. The only problem is my numbers for when that window starts and ends are 3 minutes out. Anyway, I'm not thinking about that. All I'm thinking right now is let's get in front of this EP3. He's struggling with traffic and this M2. Let's see if we can capitalise.
Lots to choose between them. They're right behind Matthew Hampson as well. So it's 63 and 37, the two leaders in Class B at the moment. And it is just, 83 I should say. And it is just the Chris Nyland car that is ahead. But there's a bit of traffic for them to deal with that time as well. These two running in 10th and 11th position overall. The Hampson car is in 9th place, and they are putting a lap there on the number 144 Richard Longdon E46 M3. So there's another M3 on the grid.
Yes, there is, absolutely. They're not able to get past Hampson, which might just be costing Chris Nyland some pace. Chris, who was a championship contender in the Type R Trophy a couple of seasons ago, out in this Motion Motorsport Honda that will be contested the Clubman Cup title in Club Enduro tomorrow. Then between these two different Honda Civic generation cars. Dan Sylvester did return to Hot Hatch a few weeks ago in Alton Park, where he took a couple of victories, but I don't think he's done huge amounts of racing this year. Maybe an MR2
Did
round.
MR2s at Croft and got airborne there at Tower Corner in the second race, raised over the back of title contender Adam Lockwood's car, which was a dramatic departure from the race. He wasn't scoring points there. I think just as a guest effectively that weekend.
Although I think he's doing it tomorrow as well, is he?
Yeah,
not?
I think so. Trainer, which is talking about him, and he is being, so this is going to be lapped, isn't it, by the number 69 car, Matthew Hampson, also the Class B leader as well, which is still number 83, which is Chris Nyland.
Chris Nyland got caught out there, though, by the car going in the pits in front of him. That's given Dan Sylvester a chance to draw alongside in this Class B lead battle, and Sylvester's made the most of it, carried the momentum out the corner, which Nyland wasn't able to do. I think he was on the inside of the BMW, which needed to come into the pit lane, so Nyland had to get out of the throttle, and that has lost him the Class B lead. These cars have won in Class B before, so there's a good chance that we could have 6 different winners in Class B in 6 races. This year Sylvester goes wide, he's up the curb, and that's going to give a chance for Nyland to fight back here as they head up the hill. Great battle in Class B, but Sylvester has held on for now.
Yeah, just lapped the 16 car as well, which is the John Peerless Civic Type R from Class C, which was having dramas in qualifying. And having another drama there, it's had a big moment, but Peerless has got it pointing back in the right direction again. But that's
Liam Crilly putting a lap on him, who's not far behind the top 2 in Class B. Liam Crilly, yet another driver who's not won in Class B this season, so I think there's a very good chance we're going to have 6 winners from 6 races. lots of cars coming in now, including Chris Nyland in 83. Dan Sylvester has carried on in their Class B battle. Their best laps, perhaps unsurprisingly since how close they were, just 0.06 of a second different, Chris Nyland and Dan Sylvester. Obviously Nyland has to hand over to Will Puttergill, so it'll be a different driver in. Dan Sylvester will be staying in the car.
We need to get Dan Sylvester in as well, don't we, at this lap, and also the Sam Dennis car, the Class C front runner. Those cars all yet to make their stops.
Right, the pit window is just about to close, and I am going to come in on this lap, but I've only got about 30 seconds to navigate through the Grand Prix section. So yeah, I was late to the pits, and if you don't pit in the window you're supposed to pit, you get a penalty.
Back out into the race at the moment. Pit window now closed. Confirmation coming up on the screens as well for all of the teams. It looks like everyone has made it into the pits eventually, which is good.
What pressures do you want in the tyres? 30.
Careful on them front.
You are?
Careful on them front.
Special thanks to everyone who's helping me here in the pit stop. Most of these lads came down to help Scottish Kev and Josh in that E92 M3. They had a few mechanical issues today, but we'll be seeing more about that car in the video that's going to follow this one. I'll be racing MR2s for their season finale. I'd asked the lads if they could check the front wheel nut torque when I pitted. During qualifying I didn't mention it, but the front wheel nuts actually came loose ever so slightly. I'm running those big wheel spaces to clear these brakes, and it's not ideal, but as I stopped I realised, oh god, it's going to be really hot, isn't it? So it'll all be expanded, and then, you know, I thought quite easily a stud could snap with the extra force, but luckily it didn't. Anyway, that's all done, and we've spent 1 minute stationary, so let's get back into the race. Half of the race after the pit stop was a little bit lonely. I had a very good lead to the car behind. I'm just checking the times now, and it seems I had about a 10-second gap to the car behind me, which was in fact the BMW Z4. The EP3 that I was battling against in the first half of the race seems to have dropped off a little bit. I'm not sure if they had mechanical issues or something, but yeah, for now I'm just kind of laid back. I can't see a competitor anywhere, and I'm pretty confident that as long as I make it to the end, I should have the win. The car was feeling pretty good, not amazing, The brake pedal feel was amazing. I remember thinking that felt good. There was no smell of fuel either during the race, and I don't know if you've kept an eye on my fuel tank, but we're starting to get low. We're starting to get around to the area. Despite the rain, we've still used enough fuel that we're in the danger zone.
Which is interesting. Just looking at the class situation, Class B, we just need to... Well, it's been led by Dan Sylvester.
We've got to wait for him to cross the line.
We've got to wait for him to cross the line again. He was one of the last to make his stops, of course. So we'll see if he's still in the lead of Class B.
Across the line, Dan Sylvester is 11 seconds ahead of Liam Criddy, who's now ahead of William Puttergill, so a bigger gap now in Class B as well.
Yeah, okay, so that's opened up in Class B. There is the number 1 car. That's the car in second place of Scott Parkin, already a double winner this season.
Dan Sylvester's getting a 60-second penalty.
Yes, absolutely right. 60-second penalty. I'm just not looking to see if I've got any notification of exactly what that's for, but I can't see anything on the timer screen. I can't see anything on my sort of WhatsApp group as well, where I might find these things out. So that's a big problem for Dan Sylvester. That's going to promote Liam Crilly certainly into the lead in that class.
Unless the overall leader is between the two cars at the end of the race. So
Yes.
Will Puttergill went off into the gravel, seemingly.
Yes.
Whether he just drove into the gravel for no apparent reason, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, this is about when the commentators became aware of my pit stop penalty. Obviously, I wasn't aware. I don't have a radio in my car or, any pit communications or anything like that. They didn't even put a board out to say you've got a 60-second penalty. They didn't put it on. Maybe they did. I didn't see them put it anywhere. So I'm driving around now thinking, cool, won the race, bring it home. In reality, I've got 60 seconds to be added to my race time.
Pit stop outside the window for Dan Sylvester, so both he and the 27 car, which is Sean Trainer, stopping outside the pit window. There must have just been a momentary late getting into the pit lane. There's Sylvester now on screen, the class leader, number 37. It says A on his car, but we've shown as entered in Class B.
That's his hot hatch class, isn't it?
Yeah,
a few weeks ago.
exactly. But that's a bit misleading. But here's a Class B entered car today. And
So
he's got that penalty headed over him.
So what he needs is the overall leaders to lap Liam Crilly, but not him, because that would mean he will have done one more lap. So despite the minute penalty, would keep him ahead.
We've got Dan Sylvester, the Class B leader, just heading down to the Melbourne hairpin, just checking Class C situation. That's still Sam McKee, and he's still well clear of Sam Dennis in that class. So BMW versus Honda. 37 car though is lapping the Mazda, not the Mazda, the MR2 here.
Into the last few minutes of the race. Here's a car you might recognise, an old friend. Also keep an ear out for my fuel pump on deacceleration. It seems to be singing a song of where's the fuel gone and why is it spicy? still possible for me to win this race even with the penalty. Remember, I don't know I've got this penalty, but there's going to be 60 seconds added to my race time. The only way I can still keep the win would be if the leading cars overtook every other Class B car apart from me. The only problem is the leaders, which is currently Scott Parkin from Darkside and an M3 powered BMW Compact, are currently getting a little bit scrappy.
As they go through McLean's, heading up there now, Ian Jones looking to find a way up on the inside at Coppice Corner. There wasn't really much of a gap there. Scott Parkin was determined to keep him behind, but Ian Jones, has he gone through? Let's see how it looks on the exit of the corner. They're still pretty much side by side. No, Ian Jones has gone through. He's gone through to take the lead.
And Scott Parkin's fighting back. He's alongside. Jones is massively sideways out of the corner. They are door mirror to door mirror. The BMW's on the inside line, but is half a length back, but then brakes later on the tighter line. Is he going to reclaim the lead? We should squeeze 2 more laps out of this, Ian, and a massively sideways leading car.
And that will mean that he's probably going to... No, he's not going to lose the lead again unless Scott Parkin can use the momentum that he's got to go back down the inside into Redgate Corner, which he's going to try and do now. And they are overlapping there. No, Ian Jones just about holds on, but still on the inside is Scott Parkin. And I think he is going to get the lead back at Hollywood. It looks like he's got the nose, but there's another touch between them. That's 3 times now they've made side-to-side contact in this race. And Jones is massively out of shape, and he's off. Off he goes. Into the gravel, bouncing over the edge of the gravel trap on the grass. The steam pouring out of the back of that car now, and Ian Jones's race is surely over.
Whilst all that was going on, I was having a pretty steady time in the Civic. I figured I was well in front. I was trying not to push the car too much. I didn't want to do anything to jeopardise the win. The redemption win was so close. Obviously, I didn't know I had this 60-second penalty looming. I also didn't know I'm just about to start the penultimate lap for myself, but will it be the penultimate lap for my competitors? What Scott needs to do now is catch and pass everyone else in Class B. Now that he's finished battling and mucking about, he just needs to get his head down. There's only one car that Scott hasn't overtaken yet from my class, and that's the BMW Z4, which is currently lapping quite a bit faster than I was.
Liam Crilly is catching Dan Sylvester on the road, just 6 seconds between them now. But Sylvester is still ahead, but with the penalty overhanging. Here's Parkin, and there is Liam Crilly. So Liam Crilly must not get lapped if he wants to win Class B, and it's going to be pretty tight.
Well, this is kind of what you sort of have been warnings about for the last 10 minutes, Josh.
So Liam Crilly's team want to be going over to Scott Parkin's team with Darkside and telling them, don't lap us.
Down towards Melbourne Hairpin for the final time goes the Darkside Developments Audi, the BMW Z4 Coupe of... Liam Crilly is not far up the road. Now, they've only got one more corner to go now at Goddard. Is Scott Parkin going to think, well, I don't really need to lap this guy in the...
But remember who shared a car with him last year? It was Dan Sylvester.
And he's gone past him. And Crilly has been lapped.
I'm just going to pause the video for a sec to try and explain what's just happened. I've got a 60-second penalty, remember? The car behind is the BMW Z4, which has been on a charge to lower the distance between myself and him down to 7 seconds. He's been lapping a lot faster than I have in the second half of the race. Now what Scott's done, Mr. Scott pictured here, what Mr. Scott has just done there is overtaken the Z4 on the final corner of his final lap of the race, which means that the Z4 finishes a lap down compared to me. Where am I? There I am, I'm at the front. I'm just starting the last lap. To be honest, I don't fully understand the rules here, but basically my race distance timer is going to have a full lap's longer length in it, meaning that 60-second penalty, well, remember we're lapping around 2 minutes, that's not even halfway. Had I got a 3-minute penalty or a 2 minute and 5 penalty or something, then yeah, that would have taken me down, and I wouldn't have won. But for some strange reasons that you've just seen there and I tried to explain badly, I ended up still retaining the win. Well, as long as I can finish this last lap. And yes, I will also buy you a Palmo if you can overtake the car which is about to win the race that I'm in, but if you overtake him on the last corner of the last lap and don't overtake me at the same time, that means that I win, then yeah, you can have 2.
But look how many positions Sylvester would have lost if he also had gone a lap down, because he's just falling down on the timing screens, but he's going to get another lap, and therefore the penalty will sort of be overturned in that way.
Yes, which is a strange idiosyncrasy of the way the penalties are applied. Gillespie 6th was the Paul and Luke Valsgar, 7th Liam Crilly at the moment, 8th Tom Stanway, 9th Matt Creed, and 10th John Monday, but they'll all shuffle back behind Dan Sylvester, we think, when the final results are published. But what a very entertaining race that was, Josh.
There you go, Sylvester's across the line and wins Class B, despite being 2 minutes to 41 behind the overall leader. But yeah, massively entertaining way to end the season for Rose Water. Been big grids all year, but a great race to end the way.
So that's how the race ended then. I finished 7th overall, 1st in class. Interestingly, 2nd and 3rd both going to BMWs. That's nice to see. And a Clio too. Not another Civic until 5th. Obviously after the race I was very confused. I didn't know what had happened. Josh came over and told me that apparently I had a penalty, so I wasn't too sure if I'd actually won or not for quite a while.
Yeah, we're down here with our race winner, Scott Parkin. Scott, a little bit of damage on your wheel there. We saw the close battle you had for the lead, which you got the win in, but that was close.
Yeah, a bit closer than I wanted. I don't mind there being like 3 mil gap, but we don't want to be touching if we can help it.
Yeah, so we won the race, but there's a bit of drama. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of drama. But won the race on the road, so obviously had a good battle with that EP3 at the start. He had seemed to have so much more traction like on a slow speed. Maybe he was just, I don't know, maybe he had fresh tyres. I mean, obviously I got fucking old tyres, haven't I? But yeah, all right, Luke, how are you doing?
Talk look at some carnage, Danny. Do you like carnage? Your channel likes carnage.
Carnage?
Carnage.
Oh, well, let's go and have a look at some carnage. The drama is, they think that I might have pitted when the pit window closed. So, we'll see. I don't think I did. The thing is, right, I had a timer, right, and I set that before the red lights went out, and I thought the red lights went out was the start of the race.
We've got a little bit here.
How come you got a first one and I got a normal one?
A little bit here.
I was expecting some carnage.
A little bit here.
Oh, that's quite a lot, that.
So it needs rebalancing, I think.
Yeah, that's just a bit of balancing. That's a tyre, by the way.
And then up first corner, first lap, TCR decided to use me as a brake. So
that's nice.
Yeah, made a bigger banging car than what it looks like there. But,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When does race start?
When the race starts after the first green flag lap. That's not what you wanted me to say, is it?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. If they do a second green flag lap, it starts normally. Yeah.
Right.
Why were you?
They think I might have pitted when the pit window were closed.
Because you did a time. You do a timer based on.
No, I did a timer based on the start, but I pitted when I had 27 on my thing.
Right.
So, I don't know.
TSL definitely started counting down after the first lap because Ruben told me on the radio.
Oh, you had a nice little radio, did you?
Right, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Maybe we did break the rules.
Did you come first, but they think you might have pitted outside at window?
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess they're looking at it, I don't know.
Right. I don't know, what will they look at? Probably CCTV and see when the ball
to see, well, it's 30, isn't it? It's 30 minutes into the race, the pit window closes. I saw the pit close sign out, but I didn't drive past it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, is everybody here?
Do you want to get in it and I'll take it?
Yeah, go on then.
You know, it's times like these that I hope I never forget. The sweet sound of a trolley jack being dragged along concrete.
Get in, Ryan, a bit. Ready? Alright, I took a few.
Thank you. Is this going to go on your video?
Yeah,
Am I going to go viral?
maybe.
You would. Yeah. Almond juice.
Oh.
He's challenging for second.
Scratching the head. No, scratching.
Is that Elon Musk? I can't clap. End of this.
Thank you. Come on, Danny.
Come on, Danny. Look at cameras.
We done bashed into it.
He would have won if that magic didn't happen.
If you hadn't let me. Right.
Right, I'm not sure I can confidently explain how, but I still ended up winning the class. Something to do with me finishing on the lead lap and some kind of, I don't know exactly. Apparently they explained it on the live stream, or maybe I tried to explain it on the live stream. I'm still not convinced I pitted when the pit window was closed, but I mean, they've got all the data, right? They're only using data, and if the data says that, then it must be right, yeah? Well, I just popped over to put some equipment in here, but it's still got tyres in, so we'll just do it in the morning. Anyway, success. Well, great success. Obviously been a very long, I don't know why the voice has gone. It's nice to win and everything, and obviously even with all the calamity of this pit stop infringement, still won. So I'm fucking drained though, man. I'm really drained. I need to go and take this back, get some bits out of the MR2, my seat and etc. I need to go and get my seat and stuff out of the MR2. And then, yeah, I'm racing MR2, so that'll be your next video. It's the last round of the season. Obviously, we had a bit of a spicy return to the MR2 Championship this year. Hopefully no more of that. But yeah, Civic worked good, and what can I say? I had a really good battle with that EP3 at the start. And yeah, happy to come away with a win. So thanks for watching. Thanks to the Patreons, of course, for supporting me. And now I'm about to enter the public highway. Sorry, my voice. Goodbye.
Well, I never thought anyone would get this far to have actually heard those words.